Hello everybody and welcome back to another Outriders video. This is actually part 2 of how to beat Eye of the Storm solo. So if you've not yet checked out part 1, go ahead and click the link down below in the description and have a look. If you've not been over to Twitch yet and seen me there, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, head over and say hello. I could be live right now doing Eye of the Storm, making builds or helping people out. So let's get on with the build. We'll start with the class tree. I've gone the pestilence route, which is pretty much standard I think for a gun DPS build, one that's using assault type weapons. I'll highlight some key nodes. So when you start off, this is the way you want to go. You want to take the weapon damage, the weapon leech, the armor piercing. Then you want to go down here and take some critical damage and make sure you get exposing toxin and march for execution. Then you're going to head back up and you're going to take the 2 decrease to what long range is classed as. So this reduces it by a total of 6 meters if you take both of these nodes. Then we're going to take some weapon damage, some extra damage if they are affected by toxic, and they always will be. Then some weapon damage. This one's very important. It's going to increase our assault weapon damage by 20%. And assault weapons is not just an assault rifle, a light machine gun, a submachine gun and a double gun as well, kind of a category. Then we're going to take the assault weapon damage boost by 12% here. Armor piercing. We're going to take 2 sides of power and make ourselves very glass cannon. And up here we're going to increase some anomaly power just because we've got a spur node and why not. Extra magazine size, and then enemies will take more damage with toxic again. And then this one's a really big boost for the start of the fight. We get 40% extra weapon damage when we activate our rounds or our turret. Skills, these are the only 3 you're going to be able to use. We need blighted rounds for extra damage. We need cryo turret, it's very important, it freezes the boss. And we also need cold snap because that deals with any adds, especially the tricky ones that come up and want to slice us to death. Now it is possible that you could take the blighted turret and then attach a freeze mod, but that then is going to use up a mod that could have been used for damage. So I would rather just go with the base cryo turret. So now we'll take a look at what gear I've got equipped. Let's start with the guns. I'm using the Hell's Rangers gun that comes as a pre-order. If you don't know how to get a really high rolled 90k one of these yet, I've got a guide for that. It doesn't take long whatsoever. You don't have to keep running the intro mission, so I'll throw a link down below for that in the description so you can go and get yourself a really high rolled AR. I use this for the beginning of the fight where you're fighting off waves of bad guys. It's really powerful, works really well. It's got crit damage, status power and long range damage. We don't need the status power, unfortunately. It's not close range damage, but to get something this high rolled with bone shrapnel and killing spree, that's an absolute god roll and it might never happen in my lifetime. So this is the one we're going to go with. If you've not got one, be sure to go and check out that link. For the second half of the fight where we're fighting the actual boss, I'm going to be using this gun, the light machine gun suppressing variant. 85k firepower, which is okay, but it's got crit damage, long range damage and close range damage. As you can tell, I've maxed the attributes out, which I have on all of my gear, so any gear that you see will have maxed that. We're going to run killing spree just to help with some extra DPS when we're killing adds, and it's got anomaly enhancement because it gives us extra firepower. Pistol, this is actually pretty important. So when you watched the fight, you'll have seen at one point I actually ran out of rounds, and I'm going to talk about that when I get to other mods in a minute. But if you use scrap grenade on a pistol, especially on one of these full auto pistols that have a really fast reload time, 1.3 seconds, you can use the grenade from scrap grenade to blow them up and not have to worry about them sniping you with the little anomaly balls that they throw at you. You can see in the video of the run where I'm just running around reloading and shooting the grenade. Big shout out to Astro that told me about that. Next we're going to look at the HUD. Now all of my gear is going to have bonus firepower, long range damage and close range damage on. For Techno, they are the absolute ideal stats for running in a team or solo. I'm running Captain Hunter because it gives us damage to elites by 25%. The Reavers and the boss are classed as elites, so that is just too important not to run. And then Toxic Lead because then when I kill any enemies, it gives us back ammo and we don't really have to worry too much about running out of toxic rounds. Now if we do, I'm going to talk about that in a little bit further down. Again with the chest piece we're going to take Euthanizer, deals 25% more damage against enemies that are afflicted by toxic. And then Radical Therapy, deal 15% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic. Then with our legs we're going to take Kingslayer, critical hits on elites increase your firepower to 32,000, and then we're going to take Bloodlust as well. Killing shots increase your firepower by 17,500, but that stacks up to 3 times. If you wanted to take Kingslayer off, you could do, and you could put extra mag on there. So if like me, you don't want to be kiting the boss around, and perhaps you want a faster time than a bronze, you want to go, you know what, I really want to try and get a silver from this. Silver's the only time possible you're not going to be able to do it solo to get a gold. But you could get a silver. You could perhaps replace Kingslayer with extra mag so that you can just lay into the boss a lot more and not have to wait for the rounds to come back. With the gloves we're taking Sharp Eye and Emergency Stance. Emergency Stance is actually bugged right now in our favour. Once it's up you'll notice that even though the golem type look disappears, you still have the buff in the bottom left hand corner indicating that you've got higher defense. So it's really good. But if you're watching this video after and perhaps they fixed it, there's a few other options that you could do. You could take Damage Absorber, which is my personal favourite. Or you could take Mitigation from Death, but just be aware with that one that it only lasts for up to 10 seconds. So if you get swiped and you've been stood around a little bit, you could get one shot. But I'll be switching to these gloves after and taking Damage Absorber. With the feet, I've got Shatter, deal 25% more damage to enemies afflicted by freeze. And this is really for the boss at the end. The turret constantly freezes him, he has no resistance to it whatsoever. That gives us a lot more damage, and because it's an extra kind of modifier, this is freeze on top of toxic, it boosts the damage up a lot. And then we're going to take crit stack as well, because we're going to be hitting him in the head and they're all going to be crits. It's going to give us a lot of extra damage. If you just wanted to have a quick look at my stats, I'll leave this up here for you now to have a quick look at. And that is going to be it. That'll be it for this part of the video. Part 3 will be the actual guide on how I did it, step by step, and just a few tips and tricks to help you through it along your journey. It took me a lot of time to get used to it. It took me about 6 hours before I cracked my first clear, but it's pretty straightforward now. I've got it all clear in my head. There's just some very important timings that you have to look out for. Thanks for watching everybody. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you found this build useful. Give me a thumbs up so I will provide you with more Outriders content. And be sure to come and check me out over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. We'll see you in part 3. Thank you for watching everybody. Goodbye.